I am Aslian Kaya. I was born in Belgium from a migrant family coming from Turkey. And I came here because I studied communication and that was a good reason for me to come to see more inclusive environments where we can share different kind of experiences about what people can get through in Europe in general.
My name is Victoria. I'm 24 years old. I live here in Belgium. I've been living here for 2 years and I work at YEU as a project assistant.
My name is Estelle. I'm from France. I'm working for YEU as an advocacy volunteer and I have worked on the PENDYW project, and I also have been involved and took part in the national training that happens in Belgium in July 2025.
I am Margot and I am the communication volunteer at YEU International.
I choose to take part in the national training of PENDYW in Brussels because I wanted my voice to be heard. Well, as a migrant child who was born in Brussels and spending all my life in here and all my education, I kind of started struggling with discrimination while looking for a job, and I wanted to see if other people are getting different kind of discrimination in the same process. So firstly, to advocate what I want to say in front of people working in that kind of fields, but also sharing different kind of experiences since I studied communication. Because this could bring a lot in the future if I want to work in a field where I need to include people at work or wherever.
Well, I chose to take part of this training for the PENDYW project as part of the Belgian team because I wanted to learn more about inclusivity, about diversity, and how to take into account the different disabilities when we do our job or when we think of other ways of doing more inclusive cities or more inclusive societies.
I choose to take part in this training because I'm super interested about the discrimination question and how to fight them, and also about human rights. So I thought that this training could be very interesting as a young person to understand better how to advocate for better human rights for everyone, and also how to fight discrimination at the European level.
I chose to be a part of the national training in Belgium of PENDYW because I think it aligns with my personal values. Inclusion is really important for everyone to be on the same scale and to include everyone.
From this experience, I learned that discrimination is not limited. Actually, it's a wide thing that opens a topic all the time. For example, first I always heard about LGBT or migrants, but now I feel there are more topics to talk about, like sustainability or even disabilities and visible or invisible. And I learned many things from many experiences showing that people aren't struggling always whatever the situation is. And this kind of workshops or projects are the kind of places where you can hear other experiences that are quite sad to hear sometimes, and where you can share emotional intelligence to come to a solution.
Well, I learned to take into account many other realities that might exist, and we don't always take them into account. I learned that it's important to at least think or raise awareness of other realities that might exist because, of course, they're not that visible. They're sometimes not that easy to see or to feel, but of course they're always there, and we need to think about them and to take them into account.
I think from that training, what I learned is that even if some people face different type of discrimination, at the end, it's always the same consequences and results in the daily life. And that's so even if we all have different life and stories, we can all try to fight together against the consequences of this discrimination. And I think the main part that I learned from this training is really this exchange with different people from different backgrounds, from different countries that face different type of marginalization. So I really learned a lot from all of that exchange and understanding between each other.
From this experience, I learned a lot of things. Being in direct contact with participants, with so many people from so many different horizons and marginalized groups and different groups in general, opened my eyes to how discrimination can be rooted in our daily life, and how important is it to include more justice to our daily life.
One of the tools that I decided to use in my life will be social media, which I was kind of scared of using and to increase my voice. But nowadays, even on LinkedIn, after the first project of PENDYW, I decided to share my point of view as a communication specialist, like to what I've learned through this project and why it matters, like for future like HRs or like even bosses and other people, like to pay attention to this kind of topics. And actually it increased, like the first post that I shared about this training kind of got a lot of comments about like things that they have learned. And well, I think that a lot of people should share their opinion about like discrimination and inclusion in general on social media, especially LinkedIn nowadays.
Well, as I said, I've learned to take more into account this type of other realities and diversities that are not always that visible. So I can think of many times that I didn't realize that I was not taking into account other realities that might not be that evident for me. So I've learned to think about these other realities that might not be so obvious all the time. So I've learned to take these realities into account for me to grow as a person and to expand my points of view.
So there is one tool I think I'm using in my, maybe not daily life, but sometimes, is when we did like a bit like the privilege pyramids, and basically we were seeing like how the privilege can go all together. And I think I really use it sometimes when I'm thinking about a situation. I'm thinking, okay, but this person is coming from that background, so maybe it's not that easy for that person. And yes, I think this one, I'm using it a lot in my everyday life after the training.
I think this national training gave us a lot of tools that we can use, especially in terms of communication, in terms of either direct communication or online communication. It is really important to pay attention to the words that you're using, to be careful about how you're expressing yourself, and now I'm being more cautious about it.
The advocacy campaign during the training that I decided to talk about was the blind CV recruitment process. Because first of all, I said that I was struggling as a migrant child to find a job, like fair opportunities to find a job. So I wanted to create a whole procedure that was respected in other countries, but I wanted this process to come in Europe in general, because since Europe has become more diverse and a lot of people wants to get job opportunities or a future in these places, I wanted more people knowing about the blind CV recruitment process so that they can have fair opportunities to find a job. And well, I'm still thinking about getting it to be done, because I think it's an important matter for future generations, getting more and more diverse actually in Europe.